Do you wish people could understand what losing a child feels like? Did you notice we went from in the darkness to darkness into light? One step at a time, we bring a little more light into our dark journey of loss. Losing a child is the loneliest, most desolate journey a person can walk. Remembering our children, it is a pain that is impossible to grasp unless you have experienced it. I've lost 4 children and would like to share my painful story. I lost a pregnancy at 11 and a half weeks. Please don't be deceived. The baby at this point is not just a blob of tissue, or at any other point from conception on. At about 6 weeks, my baby had a heartbeat. Arms and legs are moving at 8 weeks. And at 11 and a half weeks, my baby's critical systems were fully formed. The baby would move if poked, which means he or she could feel. I don't know whether my baby was a boy or girl. I named my baby Precious Joy. My baby was about 2 inches long and weighed 3 ounces. When I lost Precious Joy, I felt empty and lost. I cried a million tears since this happened. I had 2 beautiful white-headed boys, born 16 months apart. They were both abducted violently from my arms. They were 3 years old and 16 months. 2 more pieces of my heart shattered. I have post-traumatic stress from this event in my life. The story is long and sad. I still can hear the screams of my babies and the events of that day. Their loss continues without closure every day. The loss multiplies with grandchildren and future great-grandchildren added to the loss. 3 years ago, I lost my youngest son suddenly. His name was Kanane Charles. His first name is a blend of his dad's name. Kanane's middle name was after both grandpas. Kanane had a rough start, born by emergency C-section at 32 weeks gestation. He weighed 3 pounds 4 ounces. He was a sick little boy. I had toxemia and had heart failure during his birth. We were both on machines. Kanane's lungs weren't completely developed, and when they put him on the machine to keep him alive, they overexpanded his lungs, which damaged the lung tissue he had, which is called bronchial pulmonary dysplasia, or BPD, caused by mechanical ventilation, or the respirator. Kanane's first year was long and bumpy, but he was alive. I prayed hard. There were good days and bad days. He was in the hospital almost a year before he came home. He weighed 12 pounds and required around-the-clock care. I had my 5-year-old daughter at home, and she was just starting kindergarten, so life was busy. Kanane was delayed in his milestones, walking, talking, and he was in special classes in school. When he started school, besides his breathing medication, the doctor added Ritalin. I didn't like this medication or how it affected my son, but the school insisted he be on it. Kanane was a gentle, loving, active, creative child. He was bullied along the way as other kids knew he was different. I was his biggest fan and advocate, so I would always step in to solve the issues as they arose. By the time he got into middle school, he was starting to feel the negative in his world and was put on more medication for stress and mood. I continued to keep his world as positive and optimistic as I could. His chronic lung disease would have him in and out of hospitals during his childhood. As Kanane neared adulthood, he was having issues with impulse control. I always fought for his independence, but knew that I would still need to watch over him. He was unable to handle his own money after a couple tries of him taking care of his own living situation. He was married to someone who wasn't good for him. He had 2 children, a boy and a girl. He loved his children and enjoyed doing things with them. Then he was divorced. A couple years later, he married again. It was so nice to see him happy. After he had been married about a year, he called to tell me that they were expecting a baby girl. I was so happy for his happiness. 2 months before his baby girl was born, he died suddenly. I'm still feeling the shock over his death. He always said he was a mama's boy and was proud of it. One day he surprised me that he had it tattooed on his arm. When he died, I frantically looked through pictures to find the mama's boy on his arm. What a blessing to find the one and only picture I took of him showing his tattoo. I always say, a picture today, a treasure tomorrow. Kanane was 33 when he died. I struggle every day, a battle to balance the pain and guilt. I've cried a million tears since this happened. Losing a child is unnatural. Some people are uncomfortable when discussing loss. Some people have been told to remove their child's picture from the workplace. Some people put them away, as sometimes photos can be a grief trigger, depending on where you are in your journey. I have to display Kanane's pictures and talk about my son. Yes, pictures and conversation bring memories, but I want and have to remember my son, even when it causes pain. I look at pictures of my children, sometimes just a passing glance, as they will always bring up. The longer I look at them, the more I talk about the children that I have lost. It keeps the memories close and helps the healing for me. There are at least 2 times a year that I need a time out, and that's birthdays and memorial anniversaries. Birthdays, we launch balloons for my son Kanane. He always used to love to go out to eat, so that's what we do on his memorial anniversary. The ways we remember is very personal to each of us. When Kanane died, I did a plaster casting of his hand, and while the mold was setting, I was holding his hand, so it formed a grasp that fits perfectly in my hand. I put a new charm on it, commemorating each year. Visits to the cemetery are still hard, but I still go. Sometimes I will just sit a while and think about him and cry. In Kanane's memory, I got a couple bracelets. One is called Angel Wings with his name on it, and the other one says, "Let me shine," Matthew 5:14 through 16. He told me one time if he acted like the world, then his light wasn't going to shine. So he reminds me to let my light shine. Losing a child is a lifelong journey of healing. I love the children I have lost, and I think about them every day. I started a support group called Finding Our Way, but I realize it's a group that no one really wants to be a part of. But by being a part of the group, I am humbled not only by the stories, but also that we are connected by a bond of broken hearts. It's not about me, it's about us. We all need a sense of belonging, and loss is a lonely journey. It's not a one-time event. There's no getting over it. This is Bridging Loss, where we build a bridge by linking to each other over the abyss of darkness. We connect with each other, we commit to the challenge as we take one step at a time from the darkness into the light. I invite you to join Finding Our Way, which is an online support group. We share, we care, we laugh, we cry as we take another step. The link to the Bridging Loss Facebook page is in the description. When you visit, comment group if you want to be added to the support group. Please join me again next time as we continue our journey from the darkness into the light. Please share in the comments where you are from, and if you can, let me know what kind of losses you have had. And please, if you have lost a child, share his or her name, and let's talk about our children. I would like to pray for anyone who has a need. Please subscribe. Be sure to ring the bell so that you will be get notified of my next video. And Remembering Our Babies is on October 15th of every year. The link to the website is in the description. Thank you so much for stopping by.